Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank studio. And we're going to shift gears now. I really enjoy spending time with my friend Ann Pitre, who's the marketing and communications director or manager for the Hancock County Chamber. She works very closely with my good dear friend Tish Williams, and somebody I just enjoy checking in with because the Hancock Chamber, like the other chambers, are really integrated into that part of coastal Mississippi. So it's always good to hear what's going on. Ann, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing, Ricky?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing well. So you're still enjoying your new digs downtown?
Oh, yes. And we have cut the ribbon on our Business Resource Center on the first floor. So we're super excited to have some dedicated classroom space that's flexible, because now we just have so many more possibilities for what we can offer to the area.
I love that. You know, I had the opportunity. I was the chairman of the local Knight Foundation after Katrina, and as we now know, the Knight Foundation paid $1 million toward the Governor's Commission on Recovery, Rebuilding, and Renewal. One of the most significant commitments made. In fact, Alberto Ibargüen, who was formerly the publisher of the Miami Herald, and then at that time had just become the CEO of the Knight Foundation, and I were very close friends. And then ultimately, as you now know, the rest of the story, they helped with over $3 million to help us create the Knight Nonprofit Center in Gulfport. And I had the opportunity along the way to actually go visit the Johnson Foundation in, let's see, where was it? It was where is Harvard located? But no, it wasn't in Cambridge. It was where Yale is located. But anyway, I can't remember the city. But the building was amazing. And what made the building work is sort of like the Knight Nonprofit Center, and sort of what you did too, by creating some common space, by creating a place where meetings can happen. And as you pointed, you call it the Business Resource Center, but it could be casted in so many different ways. It's an important way to sort of convene the downtown or the Hancock County region. We did it with the Knight Foundation. You guys are doing it there, and it's a big plus for you guys, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned the Knight Foundation because it reminded me that the center is now fully furnished and outfitted with AV equipment thanks to the Coast Electric Roundup grant. So
Good.
we're certainly grateful to have them as a supporter of the Business Resource Center. Now, we are not the Knight Nonprofit Center, which is huge. We have one room, but we have capacity to offer classroom space, meeting space to 40 people. 50 is a bit of a tight squeeze, but we can make it work. It's all the furniture is flexible. You know, we can do a variety of formats for people, and it's very reasonably priced, and there's no charge for government or nonprofits. So it's definitely a great opportunity for people to meet and experience why we call ourselves the Downtown Link, because we are the exact midpoint between Old Town Main Street and the Depot District.
You know, what's interesting about that, the point about you're not the just huge building that is a nonprofit center. Everything is relative. And
Right.
so it fits you guys perfectly. And to have a Roundup grant, that's such a great program. I've had Ron Barnes and members of his team on to talk about what Coast Electric has done there. But when people pay their bill, they have the option to round up, and they take that, whatever that incremental difference is, and they put it into this fund. And they're able to do lots of cool things with it in the community. And the thought that you guys were a recipient of a Roundup grant, it just fits so perfectly. Because, when Ron and the team started that effort, this is exactly what they had in mind, being able to help people like you be able to make that room work in as optimal a way as it can. And it takes money to do those things, doesn't it?
It does, and it was a game changer for us. And, I had the opportunity to go and attend their event where they have all the grant recipients come in and explain their organization and how they're using the funding. And it was truly one of the most inspirational things that I've had the opportunity to attend.
By the way, I don't know why it just entered my mind, but when I went to visit the Johnson Foundation, it was in Princeton. That's where I went. Not Harvard, not Yale, Princeton. and it was just a compelling experience. I spent 2 days with them, in fact, talking about Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath of Katrina and all that. Something that Alberto from the Knight Foundation set up. Great experience, and it's always good to be able to, tell the story of coastal Mississippi. We all needed to be telling the story a lot at that time, as you well know. But yeah, it's exciting to see. I mean, you guys have really settled into the building, and you're excited to be there. You're in a lot of ways. I mean, that's kind of the center of the universe for the city now, isn't it?
Wow, that's quite an honorific title. Thank you so much. But we are doing a lot to grow the local economy. Now that we have dedicated space, we're going to be bringing back our educational series, which is open to the public. I'm actually going to be teaching one of the sessions. I'm doing a 4-part social media masterclass over the course of the year. And we have our partners from the Renaissance Community Loan Fund coming in the following week to do a session on business plan development. And the counselor is actually going to stay all day with us so people can make appointments with her to go over their business plan individually.
Wow. So again, I often say to you guys, you're no rest for the weary. How's Tish doing?
Tish is doing great. She is traveling right now. She's up in the Northeast on with some family stuff right now, but she remains one of the hardest working, most amazing people I have ever had the pleasure of working with.
Hey, listen, one of the things I know.
Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, I'm sorry, say that again.
Energizer Bunny, for sure.
Yeah, no, always been that way, that's for sure. But hey, look, I have followed your social media presence closely, and in fact, we probably ought to get a little bit more integrated with Cami, because some of the people you guys are interviewing, just small businesses and others working hard in the community, they're people I probably should have on the show. I mean, some of their stories, telling of new openings and existing businesses with real entrepreneurial spirits behind them. I love the way you're having those conversations, and people really dig being able to get to know these people better, don't they?
Absolutely. One of the goals for our social media was to be more of a conduit between our audience and the business community, because you're right, some of these stories are truly extraordinary. And we really wanted to especially highlight the magnitude of what some of our heavy industries are doing, not just for Hancock County, but, just for the world in general. Like, for example, we just had a lunch break series interview with the director of Skydweller, which is currently setting up shop at at Stennis International Airport with the largest unmanned aircraft in the world, which is it blows my mind to think about. I can't wait to actually see that plane when it touches down on the tarmac. But these are truly innovative companies that are at the forefront of change. Like, really, when you think about the term disruption to the status quo, a lot of that is happening through Hancock County.
Yeah, listen, Ann, you make such an important point. When people think of the Hancock County Chamber, they might just think about restaurants and small businesses and retailers and the like that reside in Bay St. Louis. Now, if they're a little bit broader in their thinking, they might also think about Waveland and Diamond Head. But what they don't think about is what the heck is going on at Stennis. And we learn a lot about that through Stennis Partners. We learn a lot about the blue chip industries that are part of this incredible organization. I mean, really, Stennis is in the forefront of just about everything important happening from a space point of view. But as we think about the commercialization of space, the kind of innovation that's happening there, kind of testing that's happening there, I mean, the chamber is all up in the middle of that, isn't it?
We pretty much are. We also have a sister organization called the Partners for Stennis and Michoud, which, our founding principle was to be grassroots advocacy for the robust funding of NASA's budget. But it functions kind of like an auxiliary chamber to what we have, as it's pretty much set up for NASA at Michoud, as well as Stennis Space Center and all the different contractors and suppliers, and really just anyone who wants to do business with them, and just any individual who wants to learn a little bit more about what's going on behind the gates. But we actually have a really great opportunity to learn some more about that through our center directors briefing on March 20th. So we always alternate between Harrison, Hancock, Pearl River, and St. Tammany. This year we're going to be back in St. Tammany.
So let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to come back and talk about the center directors event coming up on March the 20th. When we get on the other side with my friend Ann Pitre from the Hancock County Chamber. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank studio. I have my friend Ann Pitre, who is a really important leader in the Hancock County Chamber. She's the marketing and communications manager. And we'll come back. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this partners at Stennis and Michoud. But what she was talking about just a second ago before we went to break was the Stennis Space Center Directors Briefing that's coming up on March the 20th. Is a great opportunity to see what's going on. It's actually happening this time over in St. Tammany Parish. Why don't you pick it up from there?
Yes, so we'll be in Slidell at the Slidell Municipal Auditorium, super easy to get to. And what's unique about this event is that both Stennis and Michoud are in the process of finding new site directors. So we'll have 2 acting directors who will be present, as well as someone from one of the heavy industries that's assisting in the Artemis II mission, and also someone from the Navy. You know, we can't forget about our partners with the Navy. Highest concentration of meteorologists in the United States, right here in South Mississippi.
And a large number of oceanographers and some of the most powerful computers in the U.S. all happening there. I mean, listen, what's interesting, just your own personal experience since you guys started this effort to bring the partners of Stennis and Michoud together in this organization. How mind-blowing is it to you to see what when we talk about, you know, Stennis being a bookend in coastal Mississippi with all these blue chip industries there, it's easy for that to roll off my tongue. When you get into sort of what's underneath that headline, it's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It truly is. And my first experience with Partners for Stennis was at the Center Directors Briefing right after I first started working for the Hancock Chamber. And I always had a vague idea of the work that they do, but hearing from someone on their engineering team explaining the complexities of what they're building. I mean, they're shooting a freight train into space with enough capacity to make a lap around the sun and eventually, hopefully, make it to Mars. Like, that's incredible. I can't wrap my brain around that. I'm really glad we have a lot of very intelligent people who can in the world. But to know that Hancock County has a part of that it's very energizing and it's very inspirational.
Yeah, I often say the forefathers who came before us, who had the vision to create Stennis Space Center, that it has this incredible buffer zone. The big discussion about testing engines usually is about, is there going to be encroachment? Will the facility encroach on others, and will others encroach on the facility? The thinking of this facility was to create this huge buffer zone that is unique in America, and it creates this super competitive advantage for Stennis. And as a result of that, all these blue chip industries come together, and you know, it's right there at Hancock County. So when you think about the Hancock County Chamber, don't think of just small businesses, although they're really, really important. They believe small business is the engine that makes business work in America. But at the same time, we got this incredible facility called Stennis, and just over the state line, Michoud, and the work that they're doing is also incredible. And so and all points in between, I might add as well. You guys have some grants that you're going to be awarding, 15 grants coming up. What's that all about?
I sent you the tip about the small business grants, but we actually have 2 open grants right now. So we have a classroom grant available. And that one is funded through the Bay Waveland Yacht Club Sailing Foundation, and another one funded through the Hancock County Library Foundation. So those are posted on our website, hancockchamber.org. And because they're funded by certain partners, there are some stipulations about how you can use the funding. So it should be something related to boating, sailing, or the Library Foundation. But that's perfect getting into the spring and summer month.
Yeah. Hey,
Teachers,
we had a little bit
please
of
take
a
advantage of
Wi-Fi
that
blip right there.
opportunity. We're really excited to bring that to you. Also, through the Mississippi Power Foundation, we've been able to work with them. Am I fading out?
Yeah.
Is there a
No,
glitch in the matrix?
we actually
Okay.
had just a little bit of a blip there, but you can pick it up from there. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so with the Mississippi Power Foundation, we're working with them to offer 15 $5,000 grants to small businesses in Hancock County. And the good thing about that program is that the stipulations are a bit wider. You know, last time we offered the small business grant opportunity, it was strictly for marketing and facade improvements, but this is a bit broader and gives you a little bit more flexibility with how you can use the money.
Wow, that's a $5,000 grant. That's nothing to sneeze at. As we learned during COVID, some of the grants that were provided to small businesses, some as small as $500, could be the difference between whether they paid a power bill or not. So $5,000 could be very significant. Listen, Ann, it's been a pleasure to spend some time with you. We really enjoyed catching up with you guys, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it, Ricky.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Listen, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.